YouTube friends, it's Eden here, and I just wanted to come quickly and talk to you about a really great alternative to coconut oil. Okay, so coconut oil is amazing. We love it for so many different things. It's strengthening to the hair. It's a great cleanser of the scalp as well as a nourisher of the scalp. It moisturizes, it seals, it has proteins that can help deliver in the hair. It's reasonably priced. It's fairly easily absorbed into the skin. However, I have noticed this with coconut oil. It works really well in certain climates, climates that have a little bit more humidity, climates that are more coastal, because think about it, coconuts grow on the coast. So when I lived in California, coconut oil worked great on my hair and skin, everything. So when I moved to Arizona, I was like, yeah, of course I'm going to continue with coconut oil. Did not work for me well here at all. And I actually found that probably about 50% of the people I surveyed who were transplants, and a lot of people who live in Phoenix are transplants, had the same experience. And coconut oil, a lot of people, some people say it's a heavy oil, some people say it's a light oil. It really kind of just depends on what your experience is. What I will say is it is a drier oil, and when you're in a humid climate, you don't realize that it's a drier oil because it doesn't leave that greasy residue on the skin, and it just kind of is moist. But when you move to an arid desert climate, it absorbs and it kind of leaves sort of a very dry coating on the skin, but your skin still feels dry. It's like it just doesn't have the same penetrating power or what is going on when you move to an arid climate, and the same effect on the hair. So one alternative I found to coconut oil that works really well is Babassu oil. Now Babassu oil is very similar, very similar to coconut oil in structure, but Babassu oil grows inland. It grows in the Amazon rainforest, so it still has that same tropical climate that that it springs from, that nurtures its growth, but it's not a coastal plant necessarily. So Babassu oil has the same sort of a similar profile of lauric acid, mysteric acid, all the things we love about coconut oil that make it so great and so versatile. However, it is even more easily absorbed than coconut oil. Some people say it's lighter. I don't know that I necessarily agree with that, but it does have a fantastic feel. It deeply moisturizes. It's great for anything that's sort of like a deep penetrating treatment without necessarily being as heavy as, say, a butter. So this is the thing you'll need to know as a crafter regarding Babassu oil. Most of the Babassu oil you can get is refined. It's hard to find a cold pressed Babassu oil. From Nature with Love used to have one, but they don't advertise it as cold pressed anymore, so I don't think it's cold pressed anymore, but at least they have one that's organic. New Directions Aromatic has several different selections of Babassu oil, and I think at least 2 of them are organic. But because it kind of grows in the wild, it's not really cultivated, I think that you're okay with a non-organic one as well, because sometimes organic certification is expensive, so people don't always certify their organic products as organic. So there is that, and there is a price issue. It's not prohibitively expensive like, say, prickly pear oil, which is like $33 for like an ounce, right? But it is a little bit more expensive than coconut oil. But in creams and lotions, conditioners, shampoos, the quantities you'll be using it in still make it affordable and plausible to use in your products. And one of the reasons why it's so expensive is that, unlike coconuts, which grow anywhere in the world that has a coastline almost, it seems, Babassu trees only grow in Brazil in the Amazon rainforest. So there is that. And so the seeds need to be harvested from the Amazon, right? From Brazil. And sometimes they're processed in Brazil and the oil is pressed there. But sometimes the seeds are exported to Europe, right? And refined there and then sold back to all over the world. So all that shipping and schlepping is going to cost you some money, right? So there is that factor that you're not always getting it directly from Brazil, wherever you may be. So that's something to think about. And you know what, if you live in a European country, like I looked up a Babassu oil from a company the other day, and they were saying that the origin was the Netherlands. You know, so if you're in the Netherlands, then maybe it'll be cheaper for you than if you're in the States, if the seeds are actually being refined in Europe, right? I'm sure that's not the case for everything, but it makes the case of why it's important to buy fair trade whenever you can, because why wouldn't we want the Brazilians in that community that are harvesting that to benefit from their labor and to just keep the economics in their country for as long as possible, instead of having people from all over the world profit before they've even fully gotten the profit of their labor. You know, they should be selling us the refined oil. It shouldn't be, you know, Europeans selling us refined oil of something that only grows in Brazil. That makes no sense. So there's some things to consider there, and why fair trade is such an important thing to think about and to invest in. But I just wanted to come to you with that tidbit. If you're feeling like, you know, exhausted with coconut oil, I still think coconut oil is great, just because I can't use it because, you know, I live in a place that's built directly over, you know, over hell. You know, it doesn't mean that it's not a good oil. It's still fantastic and works for a lot of people. But know that if you're going to have a line that is coconut oil based, that's kind of, you know, all about coconut oil, it will exclude a significant portion of people. Say, for example, if you're in the United States, all those Southwestern United States, Arizona, Utah, Nevada, New Mexico, they probably aren't going to do as well with your product as people who are on the coast, you know, Oregon, California, you know, the Southeast, the Northeast, and maybe some of these people in the middle, you know, during certain seasons. So that's my issue with using coconut oil exclusively. But if you know that you're, say, live in Hawaii and you're only going to be selling locally, or you want to dominate the Hawaiian market, then coconut oil is perfect. All right. So thank you so much for watching. I will see you tomorrow with another video, and I look forward to your questions and comments. Thanks so much. Bye-bye.